life is full of surprises, and I have spent my birthday reflecting on my life and how much it's actually changed and how often it actually changes. And I think there was an element of 6 years ago, it was like, if my life doesn't change, I don't think it's really something I'll ever be proud of. So it was like almost like having to force inner change to create a life around me that I could be proud of, or that I'd actually want to live. But now, so that was 6 years ago, where enough was enough, life has to change, and then actually creating change. Like, I am living, walking proof that you can completely transform your life and your patterns and your habits. And yes, new ones creep in, and maybe deeper ones surface the deeper you go into changing your patterns and habits. But now change happens in a very different way. So the deeper I've gone into shifting patterns, like I work with people in kinesiology all the time. So we're looking, we look at character patterns and postures, and, you're doing so much work on other people, you can't help but reflect it back into yourself. And this summer, I was going through a period of, like last year, I was going through periods of feeling that kind of Groundhog Day. And I cannot stand Groundhog Day. I don't want every day to feel like, oh, why is this the same as the other day? So I knew things had to change. So it wasn't in that terms of like, if I don't change my life now, life's not worth living. It was more like, why is this feeling a bit stagnant or stuck? And I suppose because I work with energy all the time, me putting that message out into the world, I got exactly what I needed. And in the last 6 weeks, I feel like I've been quite quiet on social media and videos, and I've kind of taken time out in a big way. And the best way for time out to happen to me is like clients just disappear, which is exactly what happened. And I was like, oh, that's a bit interesting. Why has there been no clients for a few weeks? And it was just because my higher self, my body, just was like, you need a break, like over processing and doing so much spiritual inner energy work that you just need a break. So that's what happened. And I can't recognize my life from 6 weeks ago. If you knew me 8 weeks ago, I am not the same person in any way, shape or form, to the point where I'm just calling it a brand new template. And this is what I've come on today just because I wanted to, and I haven't really planned anything to say in particular order. So this is happy birthday to me. I'm just going to talk about whatever I want. And the musings I've been having are about having this complete template reset. And maybe some of you watching have also experienced this, let me know. And I have noticed it in a lot of friends and people that I communicate with, that there's been a massive amount of change in the last couple of months. But in terms of my life, I can't even recognise my life. I don't recognise my life in Exeter. I don't recognise my life at home. And my friendships are completely different. My heart, it paused, but I'm back. Just the way everything that is happening is different to 8 weeks ago. And the patterns of energy that were held in my body, even though I'm like clear and bright and look after myself, there was still those moments, the Groundhog Day moments, or attachment feelings towards parenting, or relationships, that kind of thing. All of that is just completely dissolved and gone. Like, I've worked deep enough, I've screamed loud enough, I've danced hard enough, I've shook, and I've dreamt, and I've let go, and I've surrendered, and I've grieved so much in the last 8 weeks or so that I can't even recognize the patterns of energy in my own body anymore. So what I'm feeling is the complete new template. And it actually feels like a total cellular reset. that I don't even recognize the walls of my own cells. I don't recognize the edges of my energy field. So that's why I needed to have like this little break or this little kind of retreat and be like, what's happening? Because it can be very disorientating. When everything changes in your life, the floor's gone, you know? And it can be quite scary. It's like being in the void. And I actually made a video in this, it would have been your winter, it was summer in Australia, but I made something called, I can't remember, something about void jumpers. People ready to jump into the void. It's not comfortable. It's not a nice feeling. But you can practice enjoying that teetering on the edge of your own reality. And the biggest lesson I've learned in everything changing in my life is to trust life and to learn how to surrender with grace. Because what happened to me when it all, the ground started turning to sand, is that my mind started trying to grab on to anything that was in my vicinity. I was grabbing onto this friendship and that problem and that solution and this, that. And my mind was just going, and my amygdala shooting off and kind of trauma response. And your mind just turns into a total pain in the ass and not helpful. And in the moments of jumping into the void or having a complete new template to live from, is you don't want to engage the mind in trying to control how that's going to look. Life is giving you a brand new canvas. So why put it in a box or chain it up straight away? So, and I didn't do it alone. The surrendering or the letting go or allowing the mind just to just shh. I didn't do it on my own. I had people hold my head. I had friends to dance with. I spoke with trusted healers. And I think the most important part of having a new template is to see it as a gift, to really appreciate that you have this new lease of life, that you can attach meaning in new ways. I'm having to create a whole new myth of what it means to be Sarah Jennings. I am looking deeply at all my motivations and values and how I want to work and who I want to work with. Everything has changed. I pretty much just, there's a table full of Sarah Jennings identity stuff and I've just pushed everything off the table. And hey Natalia, hello everyone that is watching. I'm just talking about having a brand new template, complete new start in life. It's like I've just started again. I've just been born and I'm just trying to figure out how to walk and how things are going to work and questioning everything that is meaningful to me. And I believe, so I had some sessions with my kinesiology teacher because it's valuable to me to have people to work with about my stuff. And we discovered that my inner landscape had completely collapsed. That all the landmarks and the pointers and the treasure troves and the the castles that were in my landscape are gone. I didn't know where up, down, left, right. I didn't know what my masculine, feminine looked like anymore. Nothing that I had seen as my reality that I'd built on for the last 6 years. It all just evaporated. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I get to take new steps in that way. And I think lots of people are starting a new template, but maybe they haven't called it that. Or, they're creating a new landscape of their life, but they're not calling it that. Maybe you lost a job, or maybe a relationship ended, or maybe you're having to move town, or maybe, all manner of things. I just choose to call it a new template because big changes in my life meant that I can start again and rebuild an identity. And 6 years ago, I had to rebuild an identity out of pure necessity, because if I carried on behaving like I was and I carried on carrying the wounds and scars gashed open the way I was, then I was only going to invite more and more destructive relationships and behaviors in my own life. So there's this element of, you can force a new template, you can force a new way of relating to yourself and the world around you, or you can allow it to happen because you've called it in without realizing. And I think I'm on the latter this time. But I think we're in this pivotal time in our human history where we have the tools and the people and the know-how, people on the edge that are trying to figure this stuff out, and even science is catching up to how our minds work and how, you know, neurons work, and how energy is just as important as emotion and mind, and, you know, it's all coming together. So there's no excuse but to evolve. That's my belief. And just the reason why my business, I always forget to mention it, but my business is called Dare to Be. And that is from a Latin quote called sapere aude, which means dare to know, dare to use your knowledge, dare to use what you learn from your environment to better yourself. So dare to be is kind of like a poke at people, like, come on, dare to be your best self, or dare to use the knowledge, or dare to use what you see in me to spur you on to becoming more yourself. So I suppose this video is just, I wanted to come on and do a live, and I had no plan. And it's my birthday, so I can do what I want. And I think that my work going forward, so I said I wiped the template completely, but my work going forward is I'm still hugely passionate and completely in love with aura transformation. And that is a complete template reset in itself. It's dissolving the old aura and integrating a new, more protective aura, so that you can move forward in your life with more resilience, much wider heart, less baggage, and, you know, have a fresh, energetic start in life. And now I'm also, you know, facilitating and becoming an instructor for aura transformation. And the next one is on the 6th of November to the 11th of November, 11/11. And so we need only, I think there's only one, max 2 places left. So if anyone who is already aura transformed wants to join the training, then it's time to sign up ASAP, because the place will go. And what else is there that I'm doing? At the moment, I'm working with a handful. I'm only going to be working with 8 max, and I'm working with 6, so there's 2 more places left. And it tends to be that everyone at the moment wants to work with visibility and fear of being visible, and how the body collapses when they maybe go to advertise or do a video, or, you know, people that really struggle to put themselves out there. And I find that so fulfilling to watch people blossom and grow and really move into being able to share their gifts, to change other people's lives, and to quit hiding and playing small. So that seems to be a theme at the moment. And so there's a couple of spots left on that. And then I've got some exciting things I've been working on. So I do heart retrieval, but I've also been working on something called the Dragon Portal. And that I'll probably leave to another live when I'm ready to put it out there. But it's basically, instead of having to do long, laborious manifestation and abundance and wealth practices, you know, where you're having to like journal every day and all these like kind of laborious, time consuming, I find boring practices, this is working on an energetic and more permanent level to upgrade your, basically your energy field, to be constantly calling in what it is you're wanting to manifest in your life. But also it's like a tech to help you really beam out into the world your energy and signature and message. So that's exciting work. That's me like tinkering away in my little alchemy cupboard, and that will come out at some point. And what else is there to say? Yeah, I think the conclusion of having a new template, or wanting a new template, is to surrender, or if something difficult is happening in your life, is to surrender completely, to drop out of the survival mind, to grieve loudly, to dance wildly, to allow life to push you into a new direction. We can't spend all our time controlling and planning and being logical about the next steps and the next plan and how it's going to look and what you're going to manifest and how much. Because actually life doesn't really work in that kind of masculine energy only. There has to be room to drop in to and allow things to really change within your cells and within your heart and within your body. And it might come in a big burst, but then there's going to be like a lull. And I'm in that lull right now. And it's not an easy place for me to be because I'm a doer. But I'm finding a lot of beauty in realizing that I don't have a myth anymore and I'm creating a new one. And yeah, so I'm going to enjoy the rest of my birthday, and I'm sending you all a lot of love, and sorry about the meandering live, but there it is.